it's me. So I am here today to make a video about what's going on in our IVF journey for baby number 2. Super exciting. My firstborn is sleeping right now, taking a nap, and I think I'll really try to make the videos when he is sleeping, because the first video was mostly him screaming in the background, adorably, might I add. But I don't know if people want to hear that. I want to hear it because I feel like it's such a great little time capsule of what he sounded like. But yeah, so where we are right now. So I keep a journal that I bought right before we started IVF, and just to document everything, so I had records of it. The very first page is January 16th of 2023. So that's when we first started IVF. And now, where am I? Oops. I'm pretty far into the book. But luckily, we've had success. So I've gone through these 3, I'm in the 3rd. I have like 2 more left. All right. So where we are right now is trying for baby number 2. So excited. I'm really excited about it. So because I have endometriosis, I take Lupron Depot before we were able to transfer any embryos. Luckily, we have some embryos banked. I don't want to say how many we have, but we do have some banked right now. I don't know if we'll have to do another retrieval, maybe not. It depends on how things shake out. You never really know with IVF. It took us 4 transfers to have a live birth. They usually say 2 to 3 transfers of PGTA tested embryos. Ours were all PGTA tested. But if we were to do another retrieval, I wouldn't test them again. I'll talk about that in another video. And it's all about personal choice. You know, there's no right or wrong answer, I don't think. It's all about your individual circumstance. And so right now we have the embryos banked, and so this time around we just do transfers, and hopefully we'll have success before we run out of embryos. We'll have success again. And before I do a transfer, because my endometriosis, I have to take Lupron Depot for 2 months. That's how much my doctor does. It varies between 1 and 3 months depending on your protocol. And so I ordered the medication, the shot. It's through a special IVF fertility pharmacy. They usually are very quick about shipment. You can have sign or not sign for it. So I had the first shot delivered to me about a month ago, and the second shot is going to be delivered tomorrow. And I am currently, I started my period on Saturday. Today is Tuesday, so I'm on day 4. I have baseline monitoring appointment today. And that means when they say baseline monitoring, that's the first appointment of your cycle. It's usually between 3 and 5 days of your cycle, where you go in to the clinic and they take labs, so blood draw, and then they also do an internal ultrasound of your uterus, and look at your ovaries and stuff, and check stuff out, and just have a look in there. And so the plan right now, without me being monitored, is going in for baseline monitoring today, and then they look at my levels, make sure everything's okay. I have to give extra blood today because they don't have a lot of my my old labs are expired now because I was successful, and they check for a lot of different stuff, like once a year, I think. So, with the Lupron, it's taken after you ovulate, so it's taken in the luteal phase of your menstrual cycle. So I'm going to have the baseline monitoring appointment, and then we wait until I ovulate. They said, I could take the OPKs to track to see when I ovulate and let them know. Otherwise, they just estimate based on the number of days in your cycle, which is helpful if you're regular. I'm regular, so we kind of know when that's going to happen. And if you go into the labs, or if you go into the clinic and your labs say, "Oh, haven't ovulated yet," they just keep having you come in, depending on what your blood work looks like, until you ovulate. And at that time, then they're going to give me the shot. I can't give myself this shot. They have to give it to me, which is also different depending on your clinic. I think most clinics, a nurse has to give it to you. It is intramuscular shots, just like the progesterone and oil is, which is funny because I give myself the progesterone oil shots, but for some reason they have a rule that they have to give the Lupron Depot shot. So I get the shot mailed to me, and then I bring it into the clinic. I know some clinics, you mail the shot directly to the clinic. My clinic doesn't do that. I wish they would, but at the same time, I know it's safe with me. So I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. And I think that's kind of what they want to. They don't want to keep track of everybody's shots. They just want everybody to bring their own in. So also, with me, something special about me in my body is my uterus loves to grow polyps at a very fast rate. So this is the first month of Lupron, that's what we just talked about, and then I have to do a second month. I may or may not get a period again for my second month, or it may just be like very light, because what Lupron Depot does is it actually puts you into menopause. It makes your body think that you're in menopause. So this is to treat the inflammation of the endometriosis, because if there's less hormones, there's less inflammation. So when I'm on my second month of Lupron, because you take it 1 month apart, then I will also be doing a saline ultrasound where they fill the uterine cavity with some sort of saline, I was going to say liquid, with saline to see if there are any imperfections. So with that, they'll be able to see if there's any like scar tissue or any polyps or fibroids. It just helps them get a better look at the uterus, because like the uterus, think of it as a balloon, you get a better look at it when it's blown up, if it has any imperfections, like instead of when it's not blown up and a little shriveled together. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now. I'm excited to get my levels back. I actually did a baseline monitoring a couple months ago on accident, because I think they had like a miscommunication. Yeah, back in April I had baseline monitoring because that was my first period, because in order to start Lupron, I had to be done breastfeeding, because I cannot take Lupron while I'm breastfeeding. It's not good for baby. So, and I also had to have a period. So I stopped breastfeeding at 6 months because I wanted to be able to transfer an embryo as soon as possible to have the chance of our kids being as close in age as possible, because I had a C-section. I had to wait a year instead of 6 months, 6 months for vaginal birth, a year for a C-section. And so I stopped breastfeeding at 6 months because I heard it can take up to 2 months to get your period back. Um, so I didn't want to have to delay that anymore. And it took a month to get my period back. So this is my third period so far. My baby is 9 months. Ah. but, um, but yeah. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I really hope there's not any imperfections in the seeing ultrasound. I don't think I've ever been so lucky. I've had so many hysteroscopies, which is whenever, and then removal of whatever imperfections I have in my uterus. I've probably had at least 10 at this point, because my infertility journey has been so long and so much has come up. I've had scar tissue, fibroids, polyps. I feel like I've had almost everything. Um, and yeah, it would be nice if I could have less procedures. It's always nice. But I don't have to do an egg retrieval at this time, so that's really nice. But I don't know, maybe I'll have to do one later on. Who knows? You never know how it's going to shake out. But I'm very hopeful this time because we have had success. I feel like it's so much easier now because even if none of our embryos take, we do another egg retrieval, none of those embryos take, I still have my son, and like he means the world to me, and I feel incredibly lucky to have him. So I think anything more than that is just like extra, you know, it's just extra. Um, I just know that so many people go through IVF and they aren't successful. So I feel like I'm just one of the lucky ones already. Um, After going through so much heartache, I don't want to, you know, ever take that for granted. Um, but yeah, so that's the plan for this month. And I'm really excited because I feel like it's the start of trying again. It really is in like the IVF world. and yeah, but I'm excited. I'm going to finish this video. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.